Hi there, my name is Frankie, and in this video I'm going to be answering the question, what is Warhammer? Warhammer is a tabletop war game in which opponents use models known as miniatures to blow each other off the table. There are two main versions of Warhammer, one set in a fantasy realm called Age of Sigmar, the other set in a grimdark future of the 41st millennium called Warhammer 40k. There were lots of other little games produced by Games Workshop, the company responsible for producing Warhammer, such as Necromunda, Blood Bowl, Warcry, the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and more, but the two Warhammer games are the really big hitters. So how do you play Warhammer? To play either game of Warhammer, you will need a few things: a bunch of models to play with, a handful of dice, a measuring device such as a ruler or tape measure, the odd bit of scenery, and a set of the rules. I personally believe that Warhammer is split up into 3 or maybe 4 separate hobbies. For many people, myself included, the most enjoyable part of the hobby is the painting and building stages. However, there are people in the hobby that enjoy the building side and hate the painting side, and vice versa. When you receive your beautifully boxed miniatures, they are disassembled and mounted on sprues. The first thing you need to do is snip off the pieces of your models, then glue them together. Even as early as this, people get really creative and make things called conversions, where you use bits from other sets to make your models unique and a little different to how they are intended to be. After this initial building stage comes my personal favourite, the painting stage. Some people choose to never paint their models and instead will have a sea of grey on the table during their games. Which is all very well and good, but there's something really rewarding about having a fully painted army on the table. Games Workshop have their own line of paints for this called Citadel, but there are loads of other brands, including things like Vallejo and Army Painter, and the list goes on. Some people go above and beyond with the painting, and there are contests held worldwide for miniature painting. Quite a few people even make careers of being commissionable painters, for those who don't wish to paint their own models. These people are true masters of the craft. Somewhere in between these two areas of building and painting is the area of making beautiful bases for your models to stand upon. Anything from a simple layer of mud to a full-on diorama. The most obvious aspect of Warhammer is the game itself. Whether you're smashing hordes of lizard men and tree folk into demons and skeletons, or using superhuman space monks to shoot crazed space orcs to death, almost every game of Warhammer you play will be different. This is largely down to the role luck plays in the game. Whilst building your armies, you can pick units with really big and scary weapons, but it will still come down to a roll of a dice, whether that big scary weapon means anything or not. These games can be small and friendly amongst friends over an afternoon, or they could be large and last all day in halls hosting gaming tournaments. I'm personally much too scared to take part in these tournaments and will never do so. A really appealing aspect to the game is the wide range of models you can play with. Let's use 40k as an example. Want to play as knights in shining armour? Grey Knights. Want an army influenced by the Alien franchise? Tyranids. Want to play like Norse legends? Space Wolves. Egyptian Pharaoh robots? Necrons. Starship Troopers? Astra Militarum. There really is something for everyone. I hadn't thought of this as a separate hobby within the world of Warhammer until making this video, but Games Workshop has a publishing firm called The Black Library, in which there are nearly 1,000 fictional books set in the Warhammer worlds. These books cross a bunch of genres too, like sci-fi, fantasy, crime, horror, and even children's novels. Not only that, but there is a lot of lore in the rulebooks and codexes that people are hungry for. One of my friends bought codexes for various armies he does not even play, just to have more lore to read, and it's fair to say he's not alone in this. There are many bookworms out there who have never played a game of Warhammer, but know the ins and outs of the Warhammer worlds. So now you know what Warhammer is and the various hobbies that make up the Warhammer worlds. But should you get into Warhammer? Well, as you've just seen, there are many ways to get into the hobby, and there's something for everyone. So why not give it a go? One of the best things about the hobby, in my opinion, is the welcoming and supportive community around it. There is such a low entry point. Nobody expects you to be creating masterpieces or being a mastermind tactician as soon as you start. I hope you've enjoyed this look into the world of Warhammer, And if you want to support the channel, you can do that by liking the video, leaving a comment, or even subscribing to see more content. I also have a Patreon campaign where you can get behind the scenes looks, and you can suggest video topics, and early access to videos is something else you get. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and happy wargaming.